Hello everyone. This is a Jill knife-only speedrun done in 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 18 seconds.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room.
So this run was done on a PlayStation 2 Slim SCPH 90001
What? What is this?
with fastest speed enabled.
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
And it obsoletes the old Speed Demos Archive record by 59 seconds. Difficult to say whether this run has that run beat as far as technique goes. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the outcome. I could have used maybe about 2 less healing items, but...
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
It was a pretty old run, and it was actually the run that got me into speedrunning.
What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature.
So, I don't know.
Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
It feels kind of surreal to challenge it and set a new time in that category.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
So, differences between a low percent knife run and any percent.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
Because Jill does not have access to the bazooka, and because this is run glitchless, meaning it doesn't use the pause glitch, there's maybe, I don't know, 2-3 more dodges that you have to make. At least for the first section of the game in the mansion. Also, you may notice that this is actually the DualShock version of the game. Director's Cut DualShock, that's why the music is different. That's why the crappier soundtrack is there. Something that I have to clarify a lot. The original long box copy and the Black Label DualShock have the original music, or sorry, the Black Label Director's Cut have the original music. It's the DualShock version that has the different music. So for that zombie, we just hold up and right as soon as the camera angle changes. We use that to buffer our input so that whenever the camera angle does change, we pass in between those. We pass in between the zombie and the wall and go directly for the door. It's probably the shortest line to make, even though there's a bit of resistance from the zombie himself. Slows your speed down just a little bit. This dodge over here is pretty tough. What you have to do is you have to line yourself up with the corner and wait for the zombie to step roughly 3 times. I haven't really counted it yet, but he kind of goes into the wall a little bit, and I think he throws out his right foot, and that's just far enough for you to be able to squeeze around him. It is possible to make this dodge while not stopping, but you have to run a very specific line in order to do it.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Some pretty choice dialogue nonetheless. So this is the first difference between any percent and knife only, is how we deal with this zombie. I'm a little bit out of practice for the knife strat over here, which seems to work pretty consistently with Chris, but it could take anywhere between 2 to 3 stabs to make the zombie fall. I got really lucky here, and he went down after 3 stabs, so I just rolled with it. I believe normally what you're supposed to do is just let him veer around the statue, and then just stab him until he goes down, so that way his hitbox is not blocking the statue whenever you go to push it over the edge. These guys just puke, don't worry about them. Just go directly down the stairs. Aside from some instances of RNG on both Plant 42 and Yawn, the giant snake, there's not a lot of RNG in this game. I guess it might be easier to go over the differences between the knife run and the any percent run as I go along. I'm a little bit rusty at Resident Evil 1 speedruns, so don't be surprised if I get bit a couple of times where I should not. Especially if any of you have been following my speedruns since my old YouTube channel. There I seem to have forgotten which room I was in. That happens a little bit. Especially since I just got done running Kill All. Running into a lot of walls. It's actually quite easy to see where I could save like another minute between all the item pickups and just in general, I need to have better movement. So yeah, because of the aforementioned RNG, you're going to need a lot of health items. I used about 5, 6 health items throughout the run. I used the first aid spray, I mixed together 3 green herbs. I got a green and a red, a green and a red. Actually, that's more like... Yeah, it was about 7 healing items, actually. About 5 full heals. So we pick up the blue jewel here. And then we go to do the whole Richard thing. Previously, what I would do is I would take the blue jewel and go directly back to the tiger statue because that was in the Japanese route. Excuse me. That was in the Japanese route by Zeno some 7 odd years ago or something like that. But now we're doing the reverse full loop route, which I believe was discovered by Clicks Gaming. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
So the reason we go the reverse full loop around the mansion, we go down the stairs here because it would be faster to go this way, actually. Actually kind of comes out to around the same time, but it results in an easier dodge for the zombie next to the tiger statue, and it also results in an easier dodge for the other zombie in the second floor dining room. Going this way also saves about roughly 10 seconds worth of doors over the old Japanese run. I tried to rationalize it as it being about a 2-second save because there was a shorter distance that you had to run. It would most certainly be faster in the DS version where you can skip doors, but I actually don't think it's faster in the old PS1 version of the game. So we run 4 steps, wait for that zombie to run 2 steps, and then that opens up enough of a window for you to go to the tiger statue room, at which point you can use the blue jewel and pick up the wind crest. I should also note, yes, I am playing the English version. The reason I'm playing the English version is because the SDA run played on the English version, and I wanted to be at a slightly more comparable rule set, even though I'm pretty sure I had a faster console. So I wanted to make sure that I was at least running the same version of the game. Now, because we're also running the reverse route, we can actually squeeze behind this zombie, which results in another pretty short line. Then we grab the serum. It might be easier in some cases to use the armor key in order to unlock the double doors to the statue puzzle on the second floor. It would actually, if you're doing like a casual knife playthrough, then it would actually save up an extra slot for you to carry more health items, but during a speedrun, that wastes about, a good 15 seconds or so, because you have to dodge one zombie and also use the key, turn around, all that stuff. So we don't do that. So here's the other zombie. We could just dodge him to the left. The classic route used to be you would kill both the zombies on the second floor dining room with the grenade launcher, but not only is it kind of a waste of a grenade because the reverse loop actually makes it a lot easier, it would certainly be a waste of time otherwise.
Here's the serum.
To
Richard,
go
hold on.
one full loop,
I'll give you a shot now.
starting from the second floor up,
Jill,
because it would take
here's
about
my
3
radio.
or so extra seconds to be able to dodge that
Keep it.
zombie the first time going around.
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
So now that we're finished with that, we're going to be getting out of the mansion with a full healing item and an extra key in our inventory that we don't need and we'll never be able to ditch. Kind of unfortunate when you consider how RNG the bosses are, but regardless, anyways, here's the strategy for Yawn. What I do is I hold back and left for one step, and then I hold up and right to be able to dodge around Yawn and go to get the moon crest. Then I dodge around up and right. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to set up an angle where I can maintain continuous motion and still be lined up to swerve to Jill's left whenever Yawn lunges at me. It's a pretty consistent dodge if you know what you're doing. Slightly dangerous. Definitely more dangerous than the 10-second strat that I used whenever I first started submitting runs to Speed Demo's archive. But I still use the 10-second strat when I'm doing a no damage run or something like that. So we go around the outer edge to dodge that zombie. We can't go the inner edge, even though it looks like we can. The spacing is too shallow. I think this puzzle could probably be done a little differently to save about a second, because you don't have to cover the vents completely, the statues just have to be pushed into a specific area. Once again, dodge this other zombie outward, because his back is facing the outer wall. Then tap up and right to dodge around that zombie. It's a hard dodge, leaving with the chemical, but it's such an easy dodge going back this way to exit the mansion. Hug the lower wall. Try to make sure you're moving as straight as possible. That zombie should never grab you. He'll probably be like 5 frames away or something like that. It's actually a pretty big window, contrary to how it looks. Then there's the old picture puzzle. Not too much to discuss here. Just going through the motions. I picked up an extra green herb after the fight with Yawn, so that I could mix it with the 2 in the guardhouse. I botched this dodge pretty badly. It's a similar dodge to the one in Remake, where you just like hold up for a step, and then you just like start mashing backwards, and then that zombie just clears a way for you to exit. I got bit by this dog here too. This was one of the rare instances of RNG in this run. I tried to back up here to avoid the hit, but you can see that the hitbox is actually quite large. Push that to the right twice. Then you should be able to squeeze up here. We're not going to pick up any of those healing items now. We're going to wait until later. Those 2 red herbs are actually quite essential to the rest of the run, at least as far as consistency is concerned. You could probably YOLO the snake and maybe win, but that also depends on if you have a healing item left over from the guardhouse or not. RNG is not very kind in a knife run, and believe me, there is quite a lot of it actually. That zombie dodge back there that I failed was probably the first time I took damage in the run. Actually, yeah, it was. It was the first time that I took damage in the run, but that was definitely not RNG. This dodge over here is a lot easier than it looks. Just what you do is you hold up and right for 1 step, and then you turn right so that you can hug the outer wall. Try to nail the corner. If you angle it right and you slide along the inner corner, then you can squeeze past the dog and then just go straight for the door. So, in order to get into the red book over here, definitely don't dodge these guys the way that I did. These guys did a number on me, actually. The game makes you only take 1 bite in order to prevent stun locking from zombies, because incidentally the recovery animation after a 1 bite shove off is just enough for you to be able to run away from the other zombie if you had also shoved that zombie previously. Which is just bare bones game balancing in order to keep you from getting stun locked here. It's possible for zombies to stun lock you still pretty bad. I don't actually remember if the tentacle by the door kills you or not. I haven't checked lately. I know that the tentacles can kill you if you try to go for the plant skip in the mansion, and you mess that up, but I don't know if this tentacle can actually kill you. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact model as the one on the other plant in the mansion. So, let's see. There isn't too much to discuss between now and the Plant 42 fight. Really, it's just a matter of doing a long, arduous puzzle that no speedrunner likes to do. We push that box towards the ladder 3 times, then push that down twice. Don't push it flush against the wall. It's kind of a waste of 0.7 seconds. Then push that 23 times. Then we push this a few times, push that a few times. It's kind of difficult to say which is going to be faster. Just pushing these 2 first, or going back the other way and pushing this, running around twice. I think this way might be faster, actually. Despite the extra pushing animations and the extra stopping to turn and whatnot. So right about now we have 2 more item slots left, which we can use to pick up these green herbs. Ideally, I would wish to complete the guardhouse using only 1 heal. But those zombies were not too kind to me, and Plant 42 is not very kind either. In general, if Plant 42 takes you down to Orange Caution by the end of the fight, you're going to need another healing item, so that's why I'm mixing up these green herbs right here, is because I know I'm going to have to pick up the 2 red herbs as well as 2 more green herbs. The 2 red herbs next to the dog I need to pick up. Dogs actually can't kill you if your back is facing them, because their kill animation, like, they can do damage all they want, but they can't actually kill you unless the attack has a programmed kill animation. And the backbites actually do not have a programmed kill animation. So you could just like stand in a corner and dogs will never kill you. But I still want to be at full health by the time I'm done with those dogs, and I have the green and red mixtures, because I need about 2 or 3 healing items for Yawn. I'm not too terribly good at that fight. You can probably expect to tank a lot of damage on Yawn, and you have to make sure that his head is up so you can get like the maximum amount of stabs possible. But I managed to complete that fight with just enough health. So Plant 42 here. The tentacles are completely random. I tried to do the strat for the Chris fight, but I actually don't think that works because whenever Chris enters that fight in a speedrun, the Chris any percent and Chris 100% runs require the use of the knife for Plant 42 because the handgun is too slow and the shotgun takes way too long to get. So you have to kill Plant 42 with a knife as Chris. But I think the tentacles are in different positions as Jill, so it means that a different strat needs to be found for the fight with Jill. You have to be able to run around in a specific angle and bunch all the tentacles together so that it takes longer for them to track you. I thought I found a window over here, so I just went for it, but of course, after like, 6-7 stabs, got smacked over this way, tried to run back around this way, but you can see that didn't work. Regardless, the Jill fight takes a lot less time because if you run the Jill sandwich route, then Barry storms in with a flamethrower and kills the plant. So this fight is actually really, really easy. It can still do a number on you, though.
What the hell is this?
Barry!
Jill!
You saved me!
Yeah,
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
The Jill sandwich route is always the optimal route for a speedrun, unless you were taking the glitched run, in which case Barry's other event route will be the one that gets played.
Wesker!
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
There are actually a few tracks that I like in the DualShock version. The vast majority of it is pretty bad. I like this track, I like a couple of the mansion tracks, but in general it's all pretty atonal. And it seems pretty hard to make atonal music sound good with the MIDIs that they used. So I pick up these green herbs here because it would be easier to dodge the dogs on the way back and pick up the red herbs. It would take significantly less time, thus we would have to spend less time tanking hits in the room with the dogs, so that's why I pick up those green herbs there. So we're going to take this outer edge around the planter. And like I said, as long as your back is facing towards the dogs, you will actually not take damage. Of course, I popped off this green herb a little too early. If I didn't use that green herb, then that dog would have just run around my back again. I should have just continued to do that. So I kind of messed up a little bit here. That cost me about... probably didn't really cost me any time. It would have definitely cost me time to pick up more heals later. I played this run very, very safe because I'm actually very not confident about my ability to pass around, to pass the second Yawn fight and the Tyrant fight. So overall, I think I could probably save about 30 seconds to a minute on this run. I got really lucky there. That hunter should have started up his attack frames by the time I was done unlocking the door. And usually he attacks me like in between the time I unlock the door and I open the door, but I got lucky. There's another way to get around... There's a way to get around the hunter here without taking damage, and it depends on which... cycle of Jill's running animation you were in when you hit the steps. It's kind of tough to describe. I guess when Jill's feet are like arched in like a smaller H, you can dodge to the left, but any other way you have to dodge to the right, I think. Pretty sure it was Clicks who also discovered that. But I'm actually not 100% sure precisely how that works. I'll have to review the video and check it again. So for the second fight with Yawn, you have to attack center mass while its head is up, and that way you can deal critical hits with the knife. It's about 3 to 4 hits. One thing you can take advantage of, though, is the danger status. Yawn always raises his head and hisses twice before he swallows Jill whole. He didn't do that there, but you could see, like, right before I popped off my healing item that he did that. And I was able to take advantage of that to get 2 free hits and then pause cancel into using a green herb mixture.
Have you found anything interesting?
At which point Yawn did not follow through with his kill animation.
I can't see very well.
He never does that.
How about going
The
down
only
and
enemies
check by
that
yourself? I
have
rope
a
here.
100% guarantee on kill
do you?
animations are hunters.
Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
In the case of Resident
Wait.
Evil 1. Once a hunter initiates its kill attack, the only way to avoid it is by teching out of the attack with a weapon that causes knockback, such as the shotgun or the grenade launcher. You can't heal to get out of
Hey,
it
what's going on?
and just tank the hit. It always causes a large amount of
Sorry,
damage,
Jill. Wait.
and it will always
I'll go
decapitate.
get another rope.
That
Barry?
attack only comes out when you are
Barry?
in yellow caution, or fine yellow, in the case of RE1. Now, because this is the low percent run, and we're going for the bad ending, we're just gonna go ahead and go straight down the ladder, just not wait for Barry. This is the only way to do a pure knife run. Otherwise, whenever you fight the Tyrant on the heliport, you would be forced to use the rocket launcher. Pause cancel is a glitch, according to the current rules of the Resident Evil speedrunning community, but it's something that you could very easily do accidentally too, such as right there. So this zombie is a little bit inconsistent. I dodged him on a previous run by going to pick up the green herb in the corner there, but I thought I could avoid it. And I got a little hasty, so I just decided to let him bite me there. It was possible to dodge that zombie on the floor in the previous room, but I totally messed that up. I was 1 pixel off, and I should have been hugging the wall and ran completely parallel across it in order to be able to get around him. If I come down the elevator there, then I actually gain push priority, and I can push him out of the way a little bit. So to get around this guy, you tap left, and like go left for 1 step, then you hold up and right, and you just like swerve around him and go to the other side of the door. I think there might actually be a faster dodge that takes the zombie's AI into account, but I haven't really practiced that because I think it's really inconsistent. I just hold up to get around this guy. The hunter has push priority, but I can use that to my advantage and just slide off of him. When I'm talking about push priority, I'm talking about which model between player character and enemy does all the pushing. I suppose the comparable thing is how heavy you are in a game like Dark Souls. Like when we're talking about fat rolling and stuff like that, you can roll into enemies if you have a really heavy armor and just like push them out of the way because you're heavier, and so consequentially you have push priority. Veer to the left to get around this guy. Because this is the bad ending route, and we don't pick up the Mo disc, we will not find a hunter here. That hunter only appears if you pick up the Mo disc in the library. We do have enough inventory space to pick up those green herbs over there, but it's actually a huge waste of time because we're going to have to use them again anyway. So we only need to take the first aid spray in the catacombs and the 2 green herbs in the laboratory. The dogs over here actually have a random spawn pattern. They can spawn in one of 3 places. Well, there's one of 3 overall layouts that the dogs spawn in, That dog spawned all the way on the right, and his buddy was next to the gate. Sometimes his buddy can be right next to the waterfall, and he can be right next to the battery. That's probably the worst pattern to get, because you actually have to veer out of the way for about 1 second. I got really unlucky here, because the dog followed a perfect half circle. He followed into a perfect half circle and just wound up biting me. Really, I should have taken the inner route, because I didn't see him by then. It's probably a good thing to note. Remember that for future runs. Sometimes you can take the inner line toward the gate. I'm going to take the inner line toward the elevator. If I took the reverse path going in to turn the crank like this, that I am to escaping these dogs here, then I actually could have avoided that dog bite. The dogs in this room like to make me a little nervous sometimes, as you just saw. I'm actually not really sure which is the faster way to go pick up the first aid spray in the basement here. Barry doesn't appear here because we didn't wait for him to drop another rope. Fuck you, Barry. Instead, we're just going to take the first aid spray and go to Enrico. It costs about maybe 15 seconds to pick up that first aid spray, but
Is that Jill?
I was actually very not confident
voice
about my
Enrico's?
Tyrant fight, so
Yeah?
I decided to go ahead and take that hit.
Wait there. Are you with anybody, Jill?
If I didn't pick it up, then I probably would have actually made
What? Oh no.
Sub 108.
I'm alone. But why are you asking?
That would have been kind of nice.
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor.
I'll definitely get a better run
Everything
for
was
this
planned
category,
from the
though,
start by Umbrella.
whenever I get my PSP up and running again.
Enrico! Who killed him, I wonder?
It's actually quite nice to not have hunters spawn in here, like they do with Chris. So turn to the left, hug this wall, and you'll completely dodge that hunter. This other hunter, hold up and right, and hug that wall, then run into the inner corner. The timing is a little precise. Your movement has to be pretty precise in order to get through there. The quickest way to trigger the boulder is to run 2 steps after the last camera angle change, then turn around. So, Black Tiger, there's actually a glitch that I hadn't used in any of my other runs, although it's not really kind of difficult to say whether it is a glitch or not. It's really an AI exploit. I messed up there. Somehow I did not leave this fight in green fine. You have to run about 2 full loops around Black Tiger. And as you can see, because he's facing the other direction, he can't stop me from slashing the web. And he just like stays there. So it's a pretty neat little AI exploit. And by the time I got done with this split, I had saved another 45 seconds. At first I thought that waiting for Black Tiger to spit off the acid would be quicker. It takes about 6 acid spits for him to do it, although you could position him just right and get him to spit so that one of his acid spits lands on the web and the other is delayed by about 4 or 5 frames. Which is just enough for the second acid spit to be able to follow up and melt the second web behind it. So it could potentially take 3 acid spits in order to melt that off. I'm not actually sure whether that would be faster or not, but that's something to test another day. So we pushed that about 4 1/4 times. That hexagonal hole there that we use the crank on is actually really tough to line up, so I decided to go for the dialogue box, even though it costs about maybe 2 seconds. Because it would cost a lot more time to just keep trying to search for the hole with the start and the use button. So I kind of cut my losses there. That setup is a little tough. So at this point we have 1 first aid spray. We still have the armor key, so that puts a little bit of a constraint on the inventory. The only thing that we are going to have room for is one extra green herb. Which is fine, because I used a green herb when I got down to that staircase in order to put myself back up at full health. I like to make sure that I'm at full health for the Tyrant fight, because if I'm not at full health, then it's possible for the Tyrant to actually chain you into 2 attacks or into 2 combos while you're trying to set him up for a knife. And if he chains you into 2 combos and you're in caution yellow, then forget it, you're dead. Because he can do his kill animation if you're in caution orange. Caution orange being around 50% HP. I think an acid spit as Jill takes you to around 75% health. Just a little bit above 75% health. Not enough to put you into yellow fine or caution yellow, but it's still something that I didn't want to risk, because I actually don't know exactly how much HP Jill has in the original PlayStation game, nor do I actually know any of the damage data. You can skip the boot up animation on that computer by holding start and square, by the way. And you can exit the computer by pressing triangle at the floor select menu and then pressing X. That's the quickest way to get out of that sequence. And in case you were wondering, yeah, Doom is supported by Umbrella Raffles OS. There's one more problem zombie you have to dodge. No big deal. Now once again, because this is the bad ending route and we don't rescue Chris, we don't visit the Modisk machine, so the Chimera dodges are a little different. In order to go towards this power panel here, you have to hug the right railing and just hold up and right. You don't actually have to murk that Chimera, just hold up and right and Jill will just dodge right through it. We actually have to dodge this one here, so whenever his shadow lines up properly and you see he throws down his arms, back up. It's actually really easy to time with practice. And exiting the power area is literally the same thing as it's always been. Once this camera angle changes, hold up right, dodge under these guys, and it's a straight shot to the exit. As long as you're taking the straightest line possible, then you will always exit the area cleanly and not take damage. So here's another 5-minute cutscene.
Jill!
See you guys in 5 minutes.
I was looking for you.
Barry.
Jill, don't be angry. I wanted you to wait for me.
Barry, don't screw up again like you did when you dropped that rope. Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the Tyrant.
Please don't show me the Tyrant, Wesker.
Tyrant virus is a super virus, which creates a monster which is much stronger than human beings. Tyrant is the most powerful biological weapon in the world.
You don't mean you're experimenting on real people?
This is really beautiful. All this power will be mine.
For the sake of an awful creature?
Don't be upset. All weak people exist to be eaten.
This is actually probably my favorite track on the Arrange Mode soundtrack. Or the DualShock soundtrack. I actually really like it. It's one of the few tracks that was actually done right in this version of the game.
What? Don't come this way! No!
I was told that there was a way to do this fight a lot faster by catching the Tyrant on Wesker's dead body. Which it is possible to
Control
do,
what it does.
but I'm not particularly in practice on this. Oh wait, that's how you do it. You're supposed to stand by Wesker's feet. Crap. I forgot about that. That's the Luciano strat. Anyways. This is what you gotta do. Basically, you run in a sort of Japanese star pattern and try to attack the tumor on his leg. That's where you want to hit. What you do is you line it up. Definitely don't get hit like I just did. But his hit detection kind of relies on him actually tagging you with the tip of his claw. But in general, you're going to be roughly parallel to the Tyrant, and he will actually try to go for you if you're standing like 90 degrees out of his field of vision, which enables you to run with this strat and use it. I actually did not count how many stabs that was. Whatever. I'll put it in an annotation later. I did whiff a couple. Ekudit does this fight flawlessly. But I took a couple of hits and I missed a couple of stabs. So with that, the run is finished. I say it's finished a little early, but that's because there's really nothing left to the game, just a few more dodges. Just run around these guys. Those two zombies vomit, hug the inner rail and the inner wall to get to that door. And now the saddest cutscene in the game.
Hi, Jill. It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Forgive me, Jill.
This is one track that the DualShock version actually does better than the original as well. Only half of the songs in DualShock were good. I think it was the clown farts in the basement that gave it a bad rap. And I can't really blame people for that.
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive, contact me now, okay? This is your last...
So with that, this is the end of the run. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like what you see, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CarcinogenSDA. This commentary was recorded in front of a live studio audience. Shoutouts to all you guys watching on Twitch right now. Love you guys. And also, if you would further wish to support my bad speedrunning habit, check the description. Chat's going, hey, he shouted me out. Hey, that's us. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Later. Fraud alert! Baba Booey! Baba Booey! Samuragochi's a fraud! Baba Booey! I live.